In the last video, I said that I can make this macro much better. So I've copied the original macro which was earlier pruned in the last video and changed the name to something else, and then I'm going to prune it a bit more. So you can see it selects range C1 and then it changes two properties of the font. But again in this section it changes other two properties of the font. So we can move these lines easily here and they will not affect anything because they are changing the theme color and tint shade of the font only. So we can delete them and move them. Again it changes the font and makes it bold. So this is again it is doing it with selection.font. So we can move this bold and move it here without affecting the macro, and we can delete this line. And same here, so we can move these lines here and delete this with and end with structure. We can see in the sheet that we have only two types of font. One is with size 18 and this color, the lighter color, and one with size 28 and bold and with this darker color. So let us see if we can do something to remove all these format pasting lines from our code. Since the size 18 and this color is applied to these cells and these cells, I will change the code here, and instead of selecting range C3, I'll write this line of code which selects both these things in one go and then changes the font and color. And then I'll comment out all these lines and then all these lines. And since C1 and C6 and G6, this one and these cells have the same font and font color, we can basically change this line of code to include C6 to G6. So we can copy this and put a comma here so that it selects all those cells, and then we can probably delete all these lines. And then we have this darker background applied onto E7 to F11. We can select all these cells and comment them out. We have done that. Even this one, we have done that. C7 to C10 and E7 to F11. We have done all that. So I think we can comment that out. And even this one. So you can see how much code is getting repeated and it's creating all kinds of confusion. And then this code E6 to F6, that is this, it's changing the background of that range. That we have done here, so it is getting repeated again. And since it is getting repeated, let us remove this piece of code and then remove this line also and this one also. So finally it selects E6 to F6 and changes the interior, but we want to change the interior of E6 to F11, so we will make it F11, and then it again selects this range. We will remove that, and then it changes the border of C6 to G11, so we will keep that border code. We have removed a lot of lines, so let us test and see how it runs. We will clear the format, go to Home, Editing, Clear, and Clear Formats, and then let us step through this code and see how it works. So it selects C1, C6 to G6, all these lines, and changes the font and does all that in one go. Then it selects all these lines and changes the font to this color and then it selects this area and changes the interior, and then it changes the border of this area. So it clears the border first and then applies it, and then selects C16 and then clears the copy buffer and ends. So you can see these many lines of code we have removed. We can delete that and see how much smaller the code becomes, and it is much more easier to understand now because it selects the whole ranges first and then changes the font color and size. So always remember, the lesser the number of lines of code, the lesser the chances of confusion and errors. Now let us talk about this debug and compile tool. I said in an earlier video that compiling of the code is not required in Visual Basic for applications. Actually, compilation is required, but it is done by the tool automatically, so you don't have to do anything to compile your code. Having said that, I want to show you a debug and compile option that is given in the Visual Basic editor and how you would use it. I'll go to Developer Visual Basic and I will maximize the window. This debug compile VBA project option is there and it is currently not off. If I click it, it goes through the whole project, every module, every line of code, and it checks for errors, and if it finds any errors then it highlights those. Otherwise it compiles the module and it converts this code written in English into machine language. Once it compiles that, the option is no more available. So now the code is compiled and can be run by the machine. But if you go in and insert even one line and again go back to debug, you can see now it is again asking you to compile the VBA project. In fact, that compilation is not required. If you run the macro, I'll press F8 and stop it and look at the debug and compile again. It is no more available. That means it has compiled the code automatically as soon as you pressed F8. So that compilation is automatic, but you have to keep that in mind that they have given an option for you to compile your code. There are a few options available in the Visual Basic Editor which help you in writing your code and debugging it. So let us have a look at them. Options are available on the Tools menu. If you click the Options button, I use a few of them on a regular basis. So I remove this auto syntax checkbox and I keep it like this, and I'll show you why. So let us not remove that option. If I go to a line and change it so that it produces an error and try to move away from that line, it shows me this error. It highlights the line in red and it also shows this box and it says compile error and expected bracket. I'll click OK, then I correct the line, and if I go to another line, if I remove the bracket again, it again generates that box, and after some time these message boxes become quite annoying. So if you go to Tools Options again and remove this auto syntax check option, it will not show you that message box. It will still color the line in red and you will save one click for you clicking that OK button. So I'll show you again. So if I remove the bracket again and move away from that line, it doesn't show me the message box and it colors the line, and that is enough for me to know that this line has some error. If you look at a few other options, I keep all these options on. I don't change them at all. And then there is this tab width, which is the spacing when you press the tab key, and currently that is to 4 spaces. You can increase or decrease it according to your taste. On editor format, I keep my font size on 16. smaller font sizes are difficult to read, so I keep it on 16, and I keep my font to Courier New, which is the default, and I don't touch all these options. They are auto, so I don't touch them. On the General tab, this show grid is useful when you are working with the user form, so I will discuss that when we are inserting user forms. Error trapping, I always keep it on break on unhandled errors. We will discuss that more when we are writing error handling code. As I said, compilation is on demand, so whenever you run your macro, it compiles it before that, and background compile is also on, so it does that in the background. Show tooltips is on, and collapse project hide windows is also on. I don't change them. All these windows, which we will discuss later, are in a docking mode. They are dockable. Only object browser is not dockable. I can make it dockable also. And then when I press F2, it appears like this. Otherwise, it appears as a bigger window.